everybody. Welcome to another episode of Milwaukee Beer Review. Again, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we are continuing our reviews this week of MobCraft's Padishah, which, again, we've been really working on how we pronounce that. And every time I hear it, all I think about is Wabasha from the movie Grumpy Old Men. Have you seen Grumpy Old Men?
I've seen both Grumpy Old Men. They're a great movie.
They're fantastic.
They're great.
But these old dudes go ice fishing, and they just get really cranky all the time at each other. And we're not cranky, though, after having a few of these beers. We're fantastic. We're in really good shape. Yeah. So, anyways, we are going to jump right into the beer reviews and continue down our Padishah path. Padishah path. You like that? Padishah path.
Good alliteration.
All right, so what we are starting with is the Rye Barrel version of Padishah. So rye is made with some malt mash. It is a slightly different grain build. So it's got to be 51% rye to be considered a rye whiskey. So this is going to be utilizing that base. And from the bourbon barrels, it's going to be rye whiskey barrels in this one. So, and it's from Great Lakes Distillery, so here in Milwaukee. So really awesome stuff. We tried some of the Great Lakes stuff in the previous video, but we get to continue down that path with Great Lakes rye whiskey. So this has been aged there at 11% ABV, and we're going to get it in the glass for you.
All right, let's get this open.
Padishah.
Padishah. Don't expect much. I think if you watch our last video, you can see not a lot of carbonation, nice dark color. As these barrel-aged stouts, you're going to get a pretty similar pour, but you never know. So let's continue with them and see what we get. No, looks like your good stout.
Same base beer. All right, get a little nose on this guy. So interesting, I'm not getting much of a change between, at least on the nose, I can't really tell much of a difference between a rye whiskey and a standard bourbon barrel aging on this stout. I don't know if you're getting much different.
It's a boozy taste. I think the difference for me, I'm not pretending I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I think the bourbon always has a much stronger, boozier smell to it, while the whiskey is, while it's still very boozy, it's not as, for lack of a better term, it's not as harsh.
You can pretend. It's fine. I definitely, I guess on the nose, getting another, shot at this. There's a little bit more booziness to it. I'm getting a little bit more bite, I think, with the rye versus what I was getting from the bourbon that we saw from the Great Lakes initial beer that we tried. So,
nice little swirl. You definitely get that. Helps kind of get the taste, smell out there, but
Well, let's give it a shot.
Right, cheers.
Cheers. I guess the mouthfeel on this, it's a little bit smoother, I think, than what I was getting from the bourbon barrel aged iterations of this. So between Heaven Hill and the Great Lakes versions, this is a little smoother. I think the rye whiskey is just a little bit smoother, I think, than what the bourbon was. For
what I was smelling, I expected, even though it wasn't a harsh smell, I expected more boozy taste. I'm not getting a boozy taste. This is a very smooth beer from start to finish. You get some good taste notes. You get some of that small booziness. You get a little, I don't know what I'm exactly getting out of it, but it's a smooth beer.
What I'll say is that the rye whiskey seems to follow through from the front end to the back end of the beer better than I got the bourbon barrel aged stuff that we've tried in this series. It definitely at the tail end of the beer, you got more of the chocolatey vanilla flavor to it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
This I'm getting rye whiskey throughout the entire thing. So more booze forward on this beer, I think, than what we saw from the bourbon barrel aged stuff. And there's a sweetness to rye, I think, that's in this that you just didn't get from the bourbon barrel aging. It's subtle. It's not massively different, but there definitely is a difference, I think, in this versus your standard bourbon.
You taste the booze, but it's not harsh. It's not sharp. Yeah. It's smooth all the way through. Real nice balanced beer. Very, very good.
Yeah, solid. Untappd, I'm putting this around a 4. I think this fits the profile of what I would expect from a Rye Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. This is really, really solid. I'm not getting anything on the palate that I don't expect or that's a surprise. So if you've had Rye Barrel Aged beers in the past, this should be right up there for you. I mean, this is solid, well balanced.
I have this about 4.25. This to me ranks right up at the top of what we've had so far with the Padishah series, and it's very good. And what I like is, as much as I like the kind of the different taste notes out some of the bourbon beers, I like the fact that this is just a consistent taste from start to finish, and it's a very good beer. You get a small, it's not a sharp, it's not a heavy taste, but it's just a smooth beer.
Yeah.
Very good.
Excellent, excellent.
So,
what are we trying next?
Next we got the Padishah aged in port wine barrel. So I don't know the port wine, unfortunately. I don't know which one was aging, but I think this is going to be a little unique. We've done a port wine in the past, and I know you have not had a lot of port wines. I do like my port wines. I haven't had a lot of them, but I do really enjoy them. So this should be an interesting variant. It is sitting at 11%, just like the rest. But yeah, let's get at it.
Yeah, port wine is not my thing, but let's get this thing in the glass and see what we got.
Yeah. All right, let's get this open.
Padishah. Gotta practice.
We'll get it down. So, again, nice dark color, small carbonation, dissipates relatively quick, but it looks good.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Alrighty.
Let's try this. Let's get
a little nose on it.
Little nose on there.
Little nose. All right, totally different scent on the nose, right, compared to the rest of the series. You've got definitely some sourness, that wine explosion, grape,
plum,
fruit flavor on the nose. Can definitely tell this is going to be a little bit more unique compared to what we've been trying.
I'm very curious how this one's going to taste, because I like that you said the sourness right up front. That's a great quick note on that.
Yep, sour fruit. I mean, that's boom.
Yeah.
If you told me, if I couldn't see what was in this glass, I would think it's a wine in here, just based on what I'm smelling.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Give it a go.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So I'll be honest. The smell, I had a very, very good idea what I was about to taste. It's not as strong. I don't get as much fruit as I thought I was going to get. I don't get much of that wine flavor as I really expected out of what I was originally smelling.
I don't know what I'm tasting. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm being honest. Like, it's almost like you can tell that there's port wine, that this was, you can definitely tell this was port wine aged, but the port wine components have almost like, they've almost been subdued.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to break through the stout flavor, but it's like all I'm getting is kind of like a dull fruit flavor. And I was expecting a little bit more robust fruit port wine flavor to this, and I'm not getting it.
It's slightly sweet, and if I'm thinking of a port wine stout, I feel it's going to lean more in that desserty, sweeter taste. I'm not getting it. I agree with what you're saying. It's for lack of a better term, it falls a bit flat of what I think the wine or that port, that sweetness you would like out of a port wine.
I cannot pick out the flavor that I'm tasting, but I would equate it to, like, it just doesn't feel like the wine is pronounced. I mean, that's honestly just where it falls. It's
a stout. I think if you were just to, if I were not to smell this and you were just giving like, yep, that's a standard stout. Yeah. It has a slight.
I don't know if I would go there.
It's a slight sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's
a slight sweetness. It's maybe a little bit heavier than maybe your standard stout, but it's not. I don't get the port wine barreling.
There's sour in this beer. There's port wine in this beer. It just feels like it's not accomplishing what the goal was. That's what it feels like to me.
I agree. I think that's spot on. I think that is. So
interesting. All right. So Untappd, I'm putting this at a 3 1/4, only because, like, I'm comparing this to the rest of the series, right? If you've been watching our videos, if you've seen our other 3 reviews, 4 reviews, this is not up there for me. So if I'm rating these against each other in this series, I'm putting it at 3 1/4. Like, this is my least favorite of the ones we've tried so far, quite frankly.
And it's funny. I laugh when you said that because I have it when I was sitting here thinking when I put this on tap, I had 3 1/4 too. Because for me, I was very excited about this because I do enjoy my port wines. I smelled them like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. This is gonna be a nice variant, and it didn't happen. Like, there's something that falls short with this one. I got a 3 1/4, which, look, we're putting a beer that we say falls flat at 3 1/4.
Yeah, it's
still a good score. It's above average. It's still a good beer.
If someone handed me this, I would drink it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But if so far compared to what we've had, it falls short to what we've had so far, and it's somewhat of an unfair comparison because the other beers we've had to this point have been very good.
Yeah. So, the last one that we have, and this will complete our Padishah series, is the Bourbon Barrel Aged version of this beer that is barrel aged in cognac barrels. So if you're not familiar with cognac, the way that it is described in the most elite of terms, and with the elitist, is that it's brandy from France, right?
Exactly. It has to be. Cognac has to come from very specific regions in France. Just like consider like Scotch has to come from very specific areas of Scotland. It's everywhere else in the world, cognac is called brandy, and if it comes from these specific regions, it's cognac.
Right. So you think about like champagne, and you can't really call it champagne unless it comes from France. Exactly. Kind of similar concept.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is 11% ABV, just like everything else we've been drinking. We're gonna get this in the glass for you and let you know what we think.
All right. Let's get this open.
Last one. Padishah.
So, it's a dark, lightly carbonated beer. Like a stout.
What else do you have to talk about?
Padishah. Like Punisher, but Padishah.
Just like Punisher, yes. Padishah. All right. Your little nose on this thing. Cognac. Interesting. Definitely a lot more sweetness on the nose with this than you got with the port wine even.
So
definitely more than the bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more than the bourbon. Honestly, what I'm smelling, what it compares to the most, is slightly sweeter of the rye whiskey. Because that's what it reminds me of the most.
Yeah. I get a little it's definitely fruity. A little bit of sweetness. I'm getting some fruit. Some vanilla-ish flavors, like that kind of mild-toned.
And I'm trying to go through the videos that we've done so far. We don't. Brandy barrel is, I think, something that's come up recently more in the last probably 3 or 4 years. You've seen more brandy barrel beers, but I don't think I've had a cognac age, or I've never had cognac, so I don't even know what to expect out of the taste.
I'd love to know which cognac this was barrel aged in, quite frankly.
Good question.
So MobCraft. Again, right back at you. If you know, let us know in the comments.
I'm sure they know.
They probably
if you're watching,
they know.
If you're watching,
let us know. They probably do know. Some random cognac, they don't even know what it is. All right.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So honestly, the weird thing about this one is, when I'm tasting out of this, it's very good. It's back heavy versus front heavy, which we've had so far. This is more what I was expecting out of the port wine. It's got that sweetness. It's got that kind of I'm not going to say it tastes like wine, but it's got that back end sweetness that you get out of wine, that you get out of port wines. I think I would have gotten more out of that. But
the front end of this, I'm getting sweetness and the stout. And the longer it sits on the tongue, as it gets to the back end of the beer, the cognac and the brandy really shine. It really comes through towards the back end of the beer. You're getting that sweetness and that dark fruit, and a little bit of sour. I would say not extreme though, but that cognac taste is definitely coming out of the back end of the beer.
This is probably from the barrel it was aged in. One of the more pronounced of the series so far.
You can pick it out very plainly.
Absolutely.
Pick it out very plainly. Yep. Interesting.
I really enjoy this. This is very good.
This is good. This is good. This is not something I would choose. I'm not looking for cognac barrel-aged stouts. So I'm going to put this fairly at a 3.75.
Okay.
I think it's a very well-made beer. It has all of the pronounced cognac notes that I would expect out of a beer like this if I was going to drink it and choose it. I'm going to give it a 3.75. I think it's good in comparison to the rest of the series. I think it sits right about there for me.
So, if I'm just comparing it to the rest of the series, and I have to kind of rank it within our Untappd based on the rest of the series, I'm actually going to stick this at a 4.5.
Whoa.
I really enjoy this. I'm surprised by it. But to your point, if I had to sit there, I had all 6 beers in front of me, I had to pick which ones I wanted, this would not be high on the list. I look at cognac, I don't know anything about cognac. It's not something that I seek out. This is very good. And I love the fact that it's from... I guess the reason I give it a 4.5 is probably the most well put together of the ones we've had so far. Is like the taste is there.
So you're saying by name alone and by description alone, you would not have chosen this, but based on what you're tasting in the review, this would be your top ranked beer out of all 6.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's, I think part of it's expectations going into it because. I didn't have low expectations. I didn't have expectations because cognac is not something I've ever had. It's not something I seek out. I do enjoy brandy. I do like brandy. I like my brandy old fashions. I'm very surprised by this, and I think this
You're from Wisconsin. If you don't like old fashions, you're broken.
Yeah. I think it's the most well-made of the series, though. I guess that's the best way to put it for me. Not only does it taste great for me, it's the most distinguished taste and most unique taste.
Okay.
So.
All good stuff. I mean, not a bad beer in the bunch, quite frankly.
So, if you guys watched the first video, if you haven't watched the first video, we can post the link for you. But if you saw in the first video, we kind of talked about this, and I am a MobCraft fan. I do enjoy their beer. I do enjoy the brewery. Josh had mentioned it was not something that he seeks out. So, Josh, I understand it's a single series. How do you feel about these?
I mean, these have renewed my interest in MobCraft, quite frankly. I mean, I think all of these are well-made beers. Some of them better than others, obviously based on my ratings. But I think these are solid beers. This is something that I have never really... I haven't really had a beer like this from MobCraft, so this has definitely renewed my interest in what they're doing, and I would be more inclined, honestly, to go in and try some new things from this brewery that I haven't had before. So I'll honestly say, great job, MobCraft. This was a great series, fantastic. We are enjoying it.
Yes.
It's been really fun, and good job. I think all of these beers are solid, regardless of the ratings we gave them. They're all great beers.
And I think it's par for the course of MobCraft. I love MobCraft, but don't get me wrong. There's been times I've gone to MobCraft, and I love their batshit craze and some of their flagship beers. But you go there for some of the uniqueness. And every now and then you walk in, it's just, I don't want any of these styles. And that happens when you have their business model. Sure. And that's a completely fair way to kind of talk about MobCraft. I love the place. I love the bartenders. I'm speaking highly of them because it's one of my favorite breweries to go to in the area. But I think that's fair to say. It depends on sometimes what you get when you go there. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as these beers, they are still available online. If you go to mobcraft.com, you can order them and pick them up at the brewery, or you can walk into the brewery and pick them up. They do have not only all 6 in a single pack. You can get the different flavors as a 4-pack or a 6-pack available right now, but it is limited time only. So once they run out, they're out. Yep. I do believe Padishah is something that does come back yearly. Padishah. Dang it. Almost got through the whole thing. So it does come back yearly. I don't know what varieties or variants they will do year to year, but it is a running series that comes out towards the end of each year. So definitely make sure you look for it.
Awesome. Yeah, and to that point, really great job. Again, MobCraft, loved this. If you're out there viewing this in the Milwaukee market, MobCraft, check them out. Check us out on Untappd, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've got pages out there. If you found us here on YouTube, like, subscribe, find us in the comments. If you've tried any of these beers, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts on these different beers if you've had an opportunity to try them. If not, let us know what we can do better. Let us know what you'd like to see. Yeah. This channel is for the community as much as it is for us. So we love doing this. Yeah. Let us know what you'd like to see from the channel. Other than that, we'll see you on the flip side. More to come, and good luck to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Despite the fact that we posted after the Super Bowl.
It will be, but good luck to them. Have a good one, everybody. Golf team here.
Awesome.
God damn it. Yay!
Yeah, you're not shooting 6%.
I did it. It's like Giannis shooting free throws. All right.